Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, the US says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to a Gaza ceasefire deal. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken confirmed the green signal by the Israeli leader. Blinken also called on Hamas to agree to the deal. Talks between Blinken and Netanyahu in Tel Aviv were described as positive by both sides. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris made a surprise appearance on the first day of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Harris was welcomed with thunderous applause and cheers from the crowd. Harris praised the current U.S. President Joe Biden in her speech at the Democratic National Convention. Harris hailed Biden for his historic leadership. Kamala Harris will formally accept the Democratic Party's endorsement for the 2024 presidential race at the convention. U.S. President Joe Biden received a standing ovation as he took the stage at the Democratic Convention. Biden also got emotional as he was welcomed with chants of "We love you, Joe." During his farewell speech at the DNC, he urged Americans to put a prosecutor in the Oval Office, referring to Kamala Harris's past role. The U.S. president also called his former rival Donald Trump a loser. President Biden withdrew his re-election bid amid concerns over his age. Former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton also addressed the Democratic National Convention on the opening day. She reflected on her failed presidential candidacy back in 2016, which she lost to Donald Trump. Clinton called her presidential candidacy the honor of her life, and she saluted Kamala Harris for attempting to break the glass ceiling if she becomes America's first woman president. Meanwhile, thousands of pro-Palestinian demonstrators gathered outside the Democratic Convention in Chicago. They were protesting against U.S. President Joe Biden's support for Israel in the Gaza war. At least 4 protesters were arrested for breaching the security perimeter of the convention zone. Some protesters unfurled a protest sign inside the convention as President Joe Biden began his speech. The sign read, "Stop arming Israel." The U.S. has accused Iran of launching cyber attacks targeting the 2024 presidential campaigns. U.S. security agencies, including the FBI, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, issued a joint statement. They said that Iran is attempting to sow political discord among the American public. Earlier, the Trump campaign had claimed that Iran hacked one of its websites. Iran denied the U.S. allegations, calling them unsubstantiated. Congressional Republicans formally began the process to impeach U.S. President Joe Biden on Monday. They chose the opening day of the Democratic National Convention to launch this effort, though it's unlikely to succeed. The report, coming from 3 key Republican-led House committees, accuses Biden of corruption tied to his son Hunter's foreign business dealings. However, they haven't provided direct evidence that Biden used his position to benefit his son or was involved in Hunter's business. Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato' Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, is on a state visit to India until the 21st of August. He received a ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan earlier today. He will also hold bilateral discussions with President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Malaysian Prime Minister's visit is aimed at boosting ties and enhancing multi-sectoral cooperation. The Supreme Court of India began hearing a suo motu case concerning the rape and murder of a trainee doctor in the city of Kolkata. The court has requested the state police to provide a report by Thursday on the progress of their investigation. In response to the 9th of August crime, doctors nationwide have protested and refused to attend to non-emergency patients. The top court also ordered that a national task force be set up on workplace safety for doctors and medical staff. A North Korean soldier defected to South Korea early on Tuesday by crossing the heavily fortified border. The soldier entered the Gyeongsang County on the east coast and was detained by South Korean guards. South Korean officials are questioning the defector and investigating the motives behind the crossing. Further details about the defector's identity and intentions have not been disclosed. And Taiwan showcased its missile capabilities by launching surface-to-air missiles at a remote southeastern test site. The demonstration involved US-made Patriot and Taiwan-made Skybow 3 missiles, as well as RIM-66 standard missiles fired from a warship. The operation was carried out at the Zhupeng base in Taiwan's Pingtung County. Taiwan has been strengthening its military deterrence in response to increased Chinese military activity. A British-flagged superyacht sank off Sicily's coast after a violent storm. Rescuers found one body and are searching for 6 others who are still missing. The yacht, named Aviation, had 22 people on board. The missing include 4 Britons, 2 Americans and 1 Canadian. And in climate news, an Italian climatologist linked global warming to the freak storm that sank the luxury yacht off Sicily on Monday. Rising global temperatures may be fueling more extreme weather events, such as the violent storm that struck the yacht named Aviation. Now, the Mercalli explained that global warming increases the likelihood of waterspouts and downbursts, both of which are intense, sudden weather phenomena. At least 2 people died due to torrential rain in the U.S. state of Connecticut. 2 women were found dead in separate cars in Oxford town. Over 100 people across the state were evacuated amid flood-like situations. The president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, discussed with Russian President Putin his concerns over the quote-unquote catastrophic shrinking of the Caspian Sea. Scientists say that water levels of the Caspian Sea have been dropping continuously since the mid-1990s. Both the leaders have agreed to analyze the situation. Azeri authorities said that the water levels were being affected due to climate change. The Caribbean nation of Grenada has become the first country to use a hurricane clause in a government bond. The special feature allows authorities to postpone debt payments in the event of a natural disaster. The move comes after Hurricane Beryl caused severe destruction in parts of the Caribbean. Grenada's Prime Minister estimated that Beryl had caused damage equivalent to roughly 1/3 of the country's annual economic output. And heavy rain caused severe flooding in southern Pakistan. At least 24 people have died in the Punjab province. The death toll due to rain-related incidents has now risen to 209 since the 1st of July in the country. Most of these deaths have been reported in the Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa provinces. Heavy rains are expected to continue this week in various parts of the country. Heavy downpour battered the South Indian state of Tamil Nadu. A canal in the town of Uti was also flooded, which led to the accumulation of water on a railway bridge near it. And traffic was also affected due to the collapse of a 15-feet circular wall in the town. And a wildfire erupted in the Gijón town of southern France. About 450 firefighters were deployed to contain the raging wildfire. Around 400 hectares of land in Gijón town has ravaged due to the wildfire. And firefighters continue to tackle a raging wildfire in Portugal's Madeira for the 5th day. Over 3,000 hectares of land have been burned in the country's southern coast. The wildfire, which began in Madeira's Ribeira Brava area, has now spread to neighboring Camara de Lobos. Over 160 people have been evacuated from the region. And on to business and tech news now. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has proposed raising the corporate tax rate. The Democratic presidential candidate wants to hike the tax rate to 28% from the current 21% if she is elected. Harris's campaign says the move aims to put money back into the pockets of working people. They say it will ensure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share of taxes. American automaker General Motors is laying off over 1,000 employees. The job cuts represent about 1.3% of the company's global workforce. The automaker is reducing jobs in its software engineering and services units. This includes roughly 600 employees at General Motors' tech campus near Detroit. Workers at the automaker Stellantis in the U.S. are planning to launch a strike. Workers represented by the United Auto Workers Union claim that the firm has backed out of its commitments. In a 2023 agreement, Stellantis promised to build a battery plant and a new truck factory. The project would have added 5,000 new jobs in the state of Illinois. The union claims that the automaker has not adhered to the agreed timetable and has been unresponsive to the talks. American action camera maker GoPro is laying off 15% of its workforce. The move will impact about 139 employees. This move is a part of GoPro's business restructuring plan to cut costs. The firm says that the layoffs will be completed by the end of 2024. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration has ordered airlines to inspect their Boeing 787 Dreamliner jets. The aviation regulator wants to examine jets for issues with pilot seats. This comes after dozens of passengers were injured in March when a 787 Dreamliner jet en route to New Zealand suddenly dropped mid-air. It was later reported that the captain's seat experienced quote-unquote involuntary movement during the flight. And a consortium led by veteran media executive Edgar Bronfman has submitted a bid to buy National Amusements. The firm holds a majority stake in the American entertainment giant Paramount Global. The bid marks a new twist in Paramount's acquisitions. The firm had already reached an agreement to merge with Skydance Media last month. However, this agreement allowed 45 days for Paramount to evaluate other offers. And grocery chain Kroger has sued the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC. The firm is seeking to block the FTC from intervening in its acquisition of Albertsons. The $25 billion deal has been temporarily blocked as the FTC's tribunal reviews it for competition law breach. Kroger says that the matter should be resolved in a federal court. It has called the competition regulator's in-house tribunal unconstitutional. India's Shapoorji Pallonji Group has reportedly set up a new company to consolidate its real estate assets across India. The firm plans to monetize these assets by taking the new company public soon. It aims to raise up to $900 million through an initial public offering of the new entity. Shapoorji Pallonji Group has a land portfolio of over 2,000 acres. The assets are reportedly worth around $6 billion. The Shanghai municipal government has raised about $1 billion for its chip fund, the Shanghai Semiconductor Industry Investment Fund. With this latest fundraising, the fund is now worth around $2 billion. It aims to support Chinese chip manufacturers as the country seeks to become self-sufficient in the sector. So far, the Shanghai government-owned fund has invested in major chip firms like SMIC, HLMC, and ACM Research Shanghai. And chipmaker AMD has announced plans to acquire American server maker ZT Systems. The deal is valued at $4.9 billion. ZT Systems makes servers for data centers, which require thousands of graphics processing units or GPUs. AMD says ZT Systems will help it test and roll out new GPUs that power artificial intelligence. And moving to sports, we start with cricket. Seamer Matthew Potts replaces injured Ben Stokes for England's first test against Sri Lanka at Old Trafford. Stokes tore his hamstring playing in the 100 competition and is out for the series. Ollie Pope will captain the team with Harry Brook as vice-captain. Stokes will still be with the team during the series as a part of the dressing room. And former Indian cricket team skipper Sourav Ganguly changed his social media profile picture to black in solidarity with the victim of a recent rape and murder in Kolkata. Thousands of users have also adopted black profile pictures to show support for the trainee doctor who died in one of the city's state-run hospitals on the 9th of August. Ganguly had previously described the incident as a one-off event in a viral video which sparked controversy online. And Darius Fisher set a new record for the most runs scored in a single over of a men's T20 international. During the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Sub-Regional East Asia Pacific qualifier, the match was between Samoa and Vanuatu, and Fisher hit 6 sixes and scored 39 runs in the 15th over, with 3 no-balls contributing to the total. This surpassed the previous record of 36 runs set by India's Yuvraj Singh. And in football news, Lionel Messi will miss Argentina's World Cup qualifiers against Chile and Colombia next month due to an ankle ligament injury. Messi, who is 37, was not included in the 28-man squad announced on Monday. The River Plate goalkeeper Franco Armani and Roma forward Paulo Dybala were also omitted from the list. Argentina will play Chile on the 5th of September and face Colombia on the 10th of September. And Ilkay Gundogan announced his retirement from international football on Monday after leading Germany at the Euro 2024. The 34-year-old cited a period of reflection and expressed pride in his 82 international matches. He made his debut for Germany in 2011. Germany reached the Euro 2024 quarterfinals but lost to Spain after extra time. And Chelsea have agreed to bring João Felix back from Atletico Madrid, with Conor Gallagher going the other way. The transfer fee for Felix, a 24-year-old Portuguese forward, has not been disclosed, but he will join Chelsea on a 6-year contract with an option for 1 more year. Felix, who was previously on loan at Chelsea in 2023, will need to pass a medical exam before finalizing the move. Meanwhile, Gallagher will sign a 5-year deal with Atletico Madrid. In tennis, world number 1 Jannik Sinner won the Cincinnati Open final, beating Francis Tiafoe in straight sets. Sinner, who has been dealing with a hip issue, won 7-6, 6-2. He secured the match in 1 hour and 37 minutes after winning the first set in a tie-break. At 23, Sinner is the youngest men's champion in Cincinnati since Andy Murray in 2008. And Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus won her first title since the Australian Open. She defeated American Jessica Pegula in the Cincinnati Open final. Sabalenka won 6-3, 7-5 in 76 minutes, and this victory is her 15th career title. The win ended Pegula's 9-match winning streak following her Canadian Open title defense. The Court of Arbitration for Sport, or the CAS, provided reasons for rejecting Indian wrestler Vinesh Phogat's appeal. It ruled that athletes must stay within their weight limits with no exceptions. On the 14th of August, CAS ad hoc division denied her appeal against being disqualified from the Paris Olympics due to being 100 grams overweight. Phogat had requested to be awarded a joint silver, but the CAS upheld her disqualification. And Matt Richardson, fresh off winning the 3 Olympic medals for Australia in cycling, is now switching to race for his birth country, Britain. The unexpected switch, approved by the International Cycling Union, shocked the Australian Cycling Federation. The federation called the move disappointing and surprising. The 25-year-old clinched 2 silvers and a bronze at the Paris Olympics. In entertainment news, U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump has falsely indicated that he has Taylor Swift support. He posted fake photos on social media of the singer and her fans, citing that they support him. The photos appear to be created by artificial intelligence. The post later sparked a severe backlash online, after which it was deleted. The house of Victoria's Secret's model Daniela Braga was ransacked by burglars. She reportedly lost items worth $1 million. The stolen items include designer bags, lockers, and jewelry, and the Los Angeles Police Department has now taken this under investigation. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's daughter Shiloh can officially change her name. She has gotten the green signal from the court to drop Pitt from her name. The petition filed weeks ago was delayed due to incomplete background check. She will now be legally called Shiloh Jolie. And singer Billie Eilish has become music streaming platform Spotify's most streamed monthly artist. She replaced The Weeknd on the list to reign supreme. Eilish has become the 3rd and the youngest artist to achieve this feat. And singer Doja Cat seems to have a newfound interest in Stranger Things star Joseph Quinn. She was spotted getting cozy with the actor in London. The duo is yet to comment on this. This comes 2 years after she was linked with another Stranger Things actor, Noah Schnapp. And a comic book based on singer Shania Twain's life will soon hit the market. The book, released by Tidal Wave Comics, is a part of their special Female Forces series. The 22-page comic book will highlight her journey of becoming a celebrated country singer. It will launch on the 28th of August. American actor Zoe Kravitz has made her directorial debut with a thriller titled Blink Twice. She has also co-written and produced it. The film is about the tussle of power between men and women. Blink Twice will release tomorrow. And it's now official that The Acolyte will not return for season 2. The makers have decided to not go ahead with the Star Wars Disney Plus series. This comes as a shocker, as the first season ended on a cliffhanger. And Lizette Oliveira has been cast as a series regular in FBI. She will play the role of a new agent in the upcoming 7th season. This comes after Catherine Renee Kane decided to exit the show. The drama TV series FBI premiered in 2018. Actor Danielle Fishel revealed that she has been diagnosed with breast cancer. However, due to an early diagnosis, she is technically at stage 0. She will get the cancerous cells surgically removed now. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.